Hello, everybody. This is part 2 of the video. I am sorry the way that part 1 ended. Thought the camera had turned off, but it hasn't. But this is part 2. So where we ended at was we were talking about some specific services. We were about to talk about mental health. So I'm going to go and share the screen again, and we'll pick up where we left off. But actually, the part 1 video was a good spot to end at, because now what we are going to do, like I said before, is we're going to go over a lot of specific things, because everyone's grant project is different. So there are going to be things that you're going to hear that don't have to do with your project. But as you're listening, just take notes of the things that do have to do with your project. But we're just going to go over a lot of different things because we have a lot of different projects. So all of it might not pertain to you. So I'm going to share my screen again. We have the screen being shared, and we are going to now go back to the screen where we were at. So we started with, we show you what if somebody was reoccurring, which a lot of people are going to have reoccurring clients. So one thing I wanted to show you, so basically if we're doing mental health and behavioral services, you're going to do the same thing. So if the person who's doing the services, we're going to call this Good Vibes Therapy, is the name of your organization. The name of the organization representative is me. I work everywhere. So we're going to put it right here as well. Then this is where you're going to also put that identifier that we said how you need to do it. So say this person's name is Mark Twain, and the date, I might not have spelled Twain right, but that's the way I like it. So we're going to put that, we're going to say May 10th. Remember in the previous recording that this is a subject line of what you're entering. Now, since this is mental health and behavioral services, you're still going to get this first question. It's going to say, is this a new client that has previously received services? If you hit yes, then there's mental health first time information. So you're going to enter their name, total number of people, the same questions. Now, do remember, you can use a unique identifier. You don't have to answer all of these. And then you're going to enter the race, disability, and military service, same questions that the other one got. But one thing you're going to notice is there is no first-time household information of supporting data, and there's none of COVID impact. Reason being, mental health, remember, you do not have to click that information. You only have to verify that they live in the county. There's no impact, no supporting data. So that's all you would have to do. Then mental health assistance, and you would just do what we showed before to everybody. Enter the amount, and remember, you have to do it per the service you provide. So say this person had a therapy session and it was $300. Then you need to provide the supporting invoices that you may have, or just a proof of that expenditure in the upload file. And then you can submit this. Now, the great thing is that it's the same thing. If it's now a reoccurring client, so say this is a no, it's the same thing that you had to do before. You just enter the client's name. This person's name was Mark Twain, and you don't have to answer the first time client questions. And then you'll enter the amount and then continue to go on. So as you see, it gets a lot easier as you observe somebody. You don't have to do the first time information. Now, some of y'all are going to have to do the first time information over and over again because you're helping so many different people. But as you get into it, it does get a lot faster, and you kind of just becomes muscle memory after a little bit. So we're going to start from the beginning again and show you another situation that may come up. Now, some of you, especially, and we're going to go over some of the things that are happening for food administration. A lot of people are doing food administration, and we're approved for those. So they were able to do staffing, and they were able to do capital projects for their food administration. Now, other people can do staffing, but remember, you had to be approved of that. So we met with you, we said staffing is approved, and we showed you how you had to report it. So we're going to go over a couple situations. Now, let's say you are entering information for staffing. for a particular area. You're going to hit staffing. Then, and all these things are still going to be the same, but maybe for your reporting identifier, you might put staffing in the date that you're submitting. So it's going to say expenditure type. This is where you're going to enter, no, not expenditure type. We already hit that, that's staffing. It's going to say, what areas are you submitting staffing expenditures for? These were the main areas that you were able to do staffing expenditures for. So benefits navigation, okay, great. Say it's hunger relief, employment services. So these were all the areas. So what you're going to say is, what is the total cost of staff expenditures that you are submitting? So what I recommend is submitting the staffing expenditures as you do payroll. Maybe do it monthly if you do payroll, or biweekly, or whenever you do those, that's when I would submit it. So say all my staffing expenditures that I'm submitting information for right now is $5,000. Then this is where you will upload your pay stubs and timesheets. Please submit supporting timesheets and pay stubs for your staff. Remember, you have to submit both of those. And because we hit hunger relief, you're going to have one more thing pop up. It's going to say staffing verification. It's saying by clicking yes, I verify, you verify that all staff expenditures occurred in the following food insecure zip codes. 20109. These are all the zip codes that were high food insecurity that we went over with everybody, that you are allowed to do your work in for staffing and allowed to have capital expenditures. So you're going to hit yes, I verify. You turn this in and you are good to go. Now, one thing I do want to show you is that for hunger relief and employment services, if you hit employment services, now you have to do the staffing verification, but it says by clicking yes, I verify, you verified that all staff expenditures occurred in the following Prince William County zip codes. These are all the zip codes in Prince William County, so you would have to hit yes, I verify. So you're going to verify that, each one. So one thing I did want to show, because a lot of people are doing benefits navigation. If you're submitting staffing for benefits navigation, you do hit the benefits navigation and supporting assistance, and you are going to have to verify just the same way as before. But for benefits navigation, that's only part one of what you have to do. You're going to submit your staffing costs, but also what you have to do is for everybody you're providing benefit services to, you do have to come and fill out the household information for those people. So for the people that are your clients in the cases that you're working on. So you're going to hit benefits navigation and supporting assistance. You'll go to household info. This is a new person. And typically every person you enter information for is going to be new, because for benefits navigation, you're not entering a dollar amount for the service on here. The amount that you're spending is on your staffing to help people. So if you notice, if we go through it and we enter all the first time client information, we're going to say, yes, they live in a qualified census tract. Yeah, we submitted the information and the first assigned number. One thing you're going to see that does not pop up is you are not going to have a pop up saying how much is the cost of the service, because you have entered that cost into the staffing area. So I know that could be confusing. And if you need to arrange a call, please arrange a call with us for benefits navigation services. When you click on this button, you are only submitting the information of the people that you are working on in the cases you're working on. That's not to click enter the amount that you spent. That is going to be included when you hit staffing, and then you hit benefits navigation here. So that's another special area. It doesn't apply to everyone, but we're just showing, just because it could apply to some. So we went over some special things. We showed benefits navigation, mental health services, food administration. This is another special thing. If you're doing food administration, for staffing, you would click here. Some of y'all are able to do capital expenditures. So we're going to click capital expenditures. So let's go and refresh. Capital expenditures. Now remember, a capital expenditure is the purchase of equipment or improvement of property that costs $5,000 or more. So for your capital expenditure, you're going to be asked a question. Please select one. I'm submitting first-time information for my capital expenditure, or I'm submitting expenditure supporting documents for my ongoing capital expenditure project. The reason why we're doing this is most of the time when you're doing a capital expenditure, you have costs that you have to keep paying for. You don't just pay one cost, you pay as the contractor finishes this, as they finish that. So let's pretend like this is the first time we are entering information about our capital expenditure project. We're going to click this. And then as you see, capital expenditure first time submission shows up. Then you're going to give a name to your capital expenditure project. So we're doing a walk-in fridge. Okay. And then these questions show up. These are questions that we went over with everybody doing capital expenditures that you were going to have to answer. Have you developed a schedule for conducting physical inventory? Yes. We've done maintenance procedures. We've done loss and damage. So you'll need to answer all those, and they will need to be a yes, or this is not going to get accepted because all those have to be done. And we talked about that. So this is our project name. This is us answering those first time things. As you remember, you had to get, you had to get 3 quotes. So you are going to 3 quotes required for capital expenditure. Please list the 3 quotes. And then you're going to upload those quotes that you received. So I'll list them, and then I'm going to put the one that I chose. And then like just list the company. So we'll say Reggie's Fridge for installments. Say that quote was $20,000. And then we'll list the other 3 and just say which one we chose. Then you'll upload those quotes here. And then you will be done with this form. So that's it for that. That's your first time information. So now as you start spending money on your capital expenditure, you will hit capital expenditure. It's going to ask that question. Are you submitting first time information for your project? Nope, you already submitted it. So we're going to say this. Then we're going to choose the name that we gave to our project. So it's just walk-in fridge. And you can call it whatever you want to, just remember it. Please enter the dollar value of the continued cost of the capital project. So we've already had to pay the contractor $10,000 to start. We'll upload a copy of the supporting documents as well as the proof of payment. And then we'll enter that. And you just keep doing that until the project's completion. So that is how you do capital expenditure projects. Remember, food admin really were the only ones that were able to do capital projects. There could be others, but remember, if you were approved to do a capital project, you can do one. If you were not approved, you have to stick to what you had on your budget and what we talked about. So please, as you're hearing other service areas and what they're doing, that is not a license to do those same things. You do have to stick to what you submitted. So let's go back and we can show you another situation that may show up. So we got staffing. We've talked about that. We talked about capital expenditures. Now food administration, like we said, you're going to enter the staffing and capital expenditures here. You will hit this this button if you have food administration dollars that are not capital projects or staffing. So say it's supplies. I bought $3,000 worth of supplies. You'll verify the zip code that it's in. Then you'll please submit the dollar value of food administration funds. So we spent $3,000 on supplies, and you'll upload that file. So do remember, this is you only click the food administration. We'll go back and show you. You only click the food administration here if it is anything other than staffing or a capital expenditure. Most of our grant partners, their food administration dollars were staffing or capital expenditures. So let's go to another special thing that's going to happen. Some of y'all are doing group events in the form of employment services or mental health. Like you're having an event for mental health awareness, and you're going to have a speaker come and speak to anyone who wants to come. So you'll hit group event. They'll ask, what area was your group event serving in? We're going to say mental health. Then we're going to give the date of the group event. So you can hit this, hit the date. Then you got to get the address of the event. Now, remember, if you're doing a group event, we went over this with you. The address has to be in Prince William County of where the event's being held. If it's a virtual event, you can type virtual in here. But remember, the address has to be in Prince William County of that event. Then you're going to upload the group event sign-in sheet. We talked to everyone about this too. Please remember your sign-in sheet does need to list those in attendance and whether they were Prince William County residents or not. Other than that, any information you want to collect is fine. Any information that you don't want to collect is fine. Then you're going to enter the event cost and upload the supporting documents for those costs. So that's a little bit about group events. So remember, some people are going to do group events in employment services, medical, and if there's other ways, please list them, but just choose which way your group event definitely helped. So we're going to keep going. Sorry, don't look at that. That is not for you. So those are the special categories. Then one thing that everybody's going to do is if you have grant admin costs, remember you can spend 10% of your overall grant award just on the administration. So paying someone to fill this out, or you need a printer because you're going to have to print a bunch of forms or whatever, all that's grant admin. So please remember, so you're going to enter the costs. Please enter the total amount of grant expenditure costs you are submitting, $5,000. And then you're just going to upload proof of payment and the invoice and supporting documents. So that is our individual expenditure submission form. You are going to do this form over and over and over again. And the great thing is as you submit them, you're going to have a list of forms that's going to show all that you submitted. Now, on our end, we're going to check them, make sure everything looks good. And if something needs to be re-entered or something doesn't look good, we'll just send it back to you to update that form. So this is the form that you're going to be doing and where you're going to basically be living and turning in people's information. So there's another thing that you are going to do. So this is what you're doing in real time as we're helping people. This is our real-time form that we're doing as we're helping. So let's go here and we are going to show you the next thing that you're going to have to turn in. So don't worry about how I'm getting here because you're not going to have to go through these steps. I'm just going to show you where the form is and we're going to go from there. So please ignore everything you see up until right now. So every month, this is the form that you're going to turn in. It's basically a summary form. So remember, there's two things. Individual expenditure form, we're turning those in as we go along. And then your monthly form, this is what's due by the 10th of every month. So you're going to list your name of your organization. Reggie's Childcare. Then we're going to list the total amount of grant rewards that has been distributed to our organization. This is not how much money you were awarded, but how much we've already sent to you. So far, the Alliance has sent me $50,000. Please enter the total amount of your grant award that you have spent year to date. We've spent $45,000. That's what, and by spent, it's the money that you have already reported on in this tool. Okay, so remember that it is the amount that you've reported on in this tool. For our purposes, if it has not been reported on, we do not count that money as spent. So that's important to remember when you need more money. If you have spent $50,000, but you've only reported 10, and then you send us a submission saying, hey, we need more money, we're going to say by our records, we only have $10,000 that you spent, because spent to us is reported on. We don't count that money on spend until you sent the stuff. So definitely trying to reiterate that. Then you're going to do a summary of events. Please, in a brief summary, provide an update to how things are progressing with your project. Do you have any innovative ideas? Do you have any collaborative partnerships? Please share anything. Share with us how things are going. We want to know what's going on, things that are great, anything that you thought about that we didn't think about. Then, barriers to completion. This is where you share if you're running into problems. So are there any barriers to completions that you're experiencing to spending your award? Say we're having something's popping up and we did not anticipate it. Let's hit yes. Then there's going to be a section here for you to list what is troubling you, what is causing you to think that you might not be able to do what you originally thought. This is really important because we need to know if you're having issues. If you are, we have nothing against you, still love your organization, but we need to know if there might be a time we need to reallocate, and we need to know sooner than later. So this is where you would list if you're having problems. Maybe your barrier is the fact that you can't get in touch with us. We want to know that too. That should never be a barrier, but if we see that barrier, we're going to correct it. So no, we're going to say, no, we don't have any barriers. And then that spot erases. Then there's press and media recognition. If you've been recognized by the press or media or other outlets or anything, we want to know about it. So please provide links. Tell us how you have been highlighted. Like, we love to know that. Then information upload. This is where you can upload pictures and clippings and videos and anything of what your project's doing. We want to share your projects. We can't say that anymore. We want to highlight what you're doing. So please upload pictures, videos, testimonies, anything that we can share with the community to show them what y'all are doing, because what you're doing is pretty amazing. So that is the monthly report. As you see, the monthly report is extremely easy and extremely quick. If you have been keeping up with putting in your individual expenditure reports. So monthly report, when it comes time, one thing we don't want the 10th to come and you are scrambling. You should be able to fill this out in 5 minutes and be on your way if you've been keeping up with it in real time. So we 100% cannot recommend more. When it comes to your individual expenditure reports, do not enter those all at one time. Don't wait till the 9th of June to enter 20 people's individual reports, or y'all don't need to know I go to Old Navy, or 50 people's individual. Do it as you go along, because it's going to make this time not stressful. We do not want to stress you out, and we can't say that anymore. We want you to be relaxed. We want you to feel happy and grateful, and not like, oh my gosh, reporting deadline's coming and I'm stressed out and not going to be able to sleep. Don't lose your sleep, because you're doing great stuff. So those are the 2 things that you are going to be asked to do. And that is our reporting. And you're going to do that through Foundant. Now, do remember, just closing out, if you need multiple people to have access to this, we can give it to you. So let us know what team members need to have access to turn in your individual expenditure reports and your monthly report. Also, we will stop sharing. We want to know anything that you may need during the process. So please reach out to us if you have anything. As you're going through this training, please let us know, oh, that didn't make sense. It did make sense. Great job, bad job, whatever. We will love to get in touch with you. Once again, we are going to have office hours from 1 to 3, Monday through Friday, definitely for the next couple of weeks, where I will be able to assist you, your individual project, if you need help going through the submission forms. Also, please stay in touch with us. Please let us know if you're having any problems accessing the forms or any information, but we really do appreciate you. We appreciate your patience. We appreciate you working with us and kind of bearing with us as we are getting this information out. Please do not let the reporting overwhelm you. It will be easy. You will get into it. But like I said, we wanted to have a streamlined process, but we definitely had to have one where we had to capture all the information that the county is asking us for. So please stay in touch with us. Thank you so much for being our grant partners. Thank you so much for all the work that you are doing. And please call us if you need anything. Email us at grants@alliancegpw.org and let us know how we can assist you. Hope everything is going great, and we look forward to your first reporting deadline on June 10th. So have a great day, and we will talk to you later.